Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. The honors go out to our apostles, Ezra Great Millstone, and Ruin Teach Well. Shalom Mabarakim to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is Brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville camp. And Lord willing that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. All right, I pray it's edifying to the hopeful elect. I wanted to touch on this word sacrifice. All right, and then especially not just any sacrifice, which sacrifice in general, in a lot of different fields is needed in this ministry. But the one that, I wanted to go into briefly is the possibility of having to sacrifice, your life, right, for this ministry. All right, especially as we are coming into the times of persecution, Revelations 12:12, and Esau is going to come down with great wrath. We know that, although most of us, we believe will, get beamed up, some of us will, possibly get beheaded. It's possible that we may get beheaded for this truth. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. Just try it in general. We all have to be willing to let our life go if it comes to that. Because that's one of the things Yahushua was talking about. If you've forsaken houses or brethren or basically family or possessions or things like that, and even your own life's sake, you're going to receive 100-fold in the kingdom. Okay, but we got to be prepared to give up everything, including our life. Like one of the sons had said in 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, one of the sons of that righteous mother, of that woman, he said, the Lord gave me all these things, so if I got to lose it, if I'm losing it for his sake, if I got to get maimed and all that, then, screw it, you just got to go through it. He said, the Lord gave me these things, I received it of him, and, I'll receive them again, but if I got to give them up, then it is what it is. And then that reminds me of Romans 15:4. We have all these examples of mighty men that have given their lives, first and foremost, Yahweh Shai, that gave his life, for the Heavenly Father, for Yahweh Shai gave his life for the Israelites to have a chance, starting with the elect, of course, as a sacrifice. He's the ultimate sacrifice. He's a lamb without blemish. But we got to follow his stead. All right, the servant is not greater than his master. We may need to put down our life. And if that's the case, then, hey, is it going to be fun? No. Is it going to be enjoyable? Is it going to be easy? No. No and no. All right, but it's necessary. Whatever we got to do to get to the end, man. Oh, yeah, I was going to get the Revelation. Salakia. Because it's written. So some of us will be beheaded because it's in the scriptures. Revelations chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. And now it's not saying that 1,000 years and then we're going to start dying, or the kingdom's only going to be 1,000 years. No, what it's talking about is that reigning with Hamashiach 1,000 years, the heathen nations are going to be in captivity for 1,000 years. Okay, and then after that, the 16 nations are going to go back to their lands, and the nation of Esau, Edom, all right, because there's 18 nations total, but I said 16 will go back to their lands because one of them, Esau, Edom, one of the 17 heathen nations, the nation of Edom, the so-called white man collectively, he's going to be destroyed. He's going to be rounded up and destroyed. All right, that's in the book of Obadiah. Okay, but like I just read, it's prophecy that some of us will have to lose our head, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right, and even though most of us won't have to, be put to death, we all have to be willing to be put to death. All right, it's our reasonable service. Let me grab this. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I'll get in the NLT. Romans 12:1 in the NLT. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Okay, so look, if we gotta die, then we gotta die, and it's easier said than done. But I believe Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give us the spirit to endure whatever it is. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. The Lord is not going to tempt you above that you're able, man. All right? So whatever you're meant to go through, you're going to go through it. And you're going to handle it with no problem, with no issue, man. Yahweh Shema Shai has got our back. We just got to trust and believe that. All right? We got to continue to put our trust in Yahweh Shema Shai no matter what. Point blank period, man. Let me get this word for sacrifice. It says sacrifice, the offering of something, especially a life, to a deity as an act of propitiation, homage, etc. And that's exactly what it would be. But here's the thing, man, which ultimately we don't really have a decision. Because either you give your life for Yahweh Shema Shai, or you take the C-hip, you take the easy route, you take the easy way out. And then guess what? What is that? Hebrews 10 and 31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Now Yahweh Shema Shai is going to jack you up, man. You're most likely going to be destroyed in that nuclear fire. Okay? So it's like either way, if you're going to die, you might as well die with honor. You might as well die with your integrity. Maintain your integrity like the prophet Job did, man. Probably get one more. This is really just a quick, reminder, which don't meditate, on death. Okay, because, we got to have faith and trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. There's better things to be thinking about than dying, of course. But we need to always keep it in the back of our mind. We need to be mindful that, look, this is a war. It's a spiritual war, yes, but Esau is going to come for our life. And we may have to make that decision, all right, that hour of temptation. We may have to decide between either the C-hip or the guillotine, and we have to pick the guillotine every day of the week, So we need to keep that in mind. You may have to get tortured. You may have to be put to death. You may, get thrown in prison. And these are just things that we got to deal with. All right, Revelations 2 and 10. But the Lord said, fear none of those things. All right, John chapter 15 and verse 13, this in red. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So that's the greatest way you show that you love your friends. Now watch this. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. So there's no greater way for you to show Yahweh Shema Shai that you love him than to lay down your life. All right, now, of course, doing the work, going to camp, sacrificing, praying, fasting, studying, doing all these things shows that you love Yahweh Shema Shai. Like Yahweh Shai also said, if you love me, keep my commandments. But the ultimate way that shows, oh yeah, he definitely loves me, is by laying down your life for him. Okay, if you're willing to get your head cut off your body because you want to keep the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, that shows the Lord, look, he does actually care. He is actually serious, And once again, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, if you're put in that predicament, in that situation, in that scenario, then that means you can handle it. Okay, so Lord wanted that this lesson was edifying and exhorting. Just wanted to put this reminder out there because we are entering into these dark times, man. And we got to be prepared to suffer immense things for Yahweh Shema Shai's sake. So Lord wanted that this lesson was edifying. Before I close, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'Shem Rachai HaKodash. Double honors the Apostle Elder Great Millstone.